Okay, here's my thesis. This is the best time in the history of mankind on this planet to be alive. Now, let me start with a simple question. Why do so many people believe the world is falling apart when, by almost every objective measure, we're living in the greatest period in human history? It's not because things are actually worse, it's because our perception is being hijacked. Think about this 10,000 years ago, life expectancy was about the age of 20. So by the time you hit 10 years old, half of your life was over. 500 years ago, life expectancy was about 35. 200 years ago, it actually dropped to 32, and up to 50% of children died before the age of 5. 100 years ago, life expectancy was 50, and child mortality rates went down to 32%. About a third of all children died before the age of 5. Today in the world, it's 72. And in the top 20 countries for life expectancy, it's over 81. And child mortality today, it's 3.2%. Now, any child dying before the age of 5 is tragic. But not long ago, it was up to half of all children born. So the aches and pains of getting older, the gray hairs, the wrinkles, those are luxuries that most of humanity never got to experience. Knowing your grandkids, that's a recent phenomena, let alone your great grandkids. And think about this. In 1820, just 200 Christmases ago, 90% of the world lived in extreme poverty. Today, it's now under 10%. Literacy rates in the world have gone from 10% in the year 1500 to 36% in 1950, and today it's 87% of the world can read and write. So why do so many people believe the world is falling apart when almost every objective measure we're living in the greatest period in human history? It's not because things are actually worse, like I said, it's because our perspective is being hijacked. So what does that mean? Let me give you my 7 reasons for this in hopes that reality will shape a more positive perspective with mankind. Number 1, our brain is not wired for good news. Human beings evolved to survive, not to feel optimistic. Our brains are threat detection machines. If something goes wrong, we notice it instantly. If something improves slowly, quietly over time, we barely register it. In other words, progress whispers, danger screams. From an evolutionary standpoint, humans survive by noticing danger, not by celebrating stability. Our brains give disproportionate weight to negative information. That's a negativity bias. Threat detection once meant survival, today it means anxiety. Improvements happen gradually and quietly, while crisis feels sudden and loud. As a result, progress becomes invisible while problems feel omnipresent. Number 2, fear is now a business model. We live in the first era in history where fear is profitable at scale. Media and algorithms don't reward truth, they monetize fear. They reward attention, and nothing captures attention like outrage, crisis, and conflict. So even if the world is improving overall, the stories that reach us every day tell us the opposite. Not because they're lying, but because they're incentivized. Modern media is not designed to inform, it's designed to capture attention. Fear, outrage, conflict, they drive clicks, engagement, and ad revenue. Algorithms amplify emotionally charged content, not statistically representative content. Good news does not spread as efficiently as bad news. This creates a systemic distortion where rare but dramatic events feel constant and universal. Number 3, we compare ourselves to the entire world. For most of history, you compared yourself to your neighbors. Today, you compare yourself to the most successful, attractive, wealthy, filtered people on the planet. In fact, it's every single day. Social media exposes people to curated extremes of success, wealth, beauty, and lifestyle. This creates relative dissatisfaction even as absolute conditions improve. Expectations rise faster than reality can satisfy them. People feel worse not because life is worse, but because standards have inflated faster than gratitude. Life didn't get worse, expectations exploded. Number 4, we've forgotten how bad used to be. Most people lack lived experience of genuine historic hardship. 200 years ago, most children didn't survive to adulthood. Infections routinely killed healthy adults. Education was rare, poverty was permanent, freedom depended on your birth. Today, most of us complain when Wi-Fi is slow. That's not weakness, it's just perspective loss. Comfort erased historical memory. When suffering is rare, tolerance for inconvenience drops. What would have been considered extraordinary fortune 200 years ago is now considered baseline. Number 5, progress doesn't remove problems, it changes them. When survival is no longer the daily battle, we start wrestling with meaning, identity, and purpose. That's not decline, that's just evolution. A society discussing mental health, opportunity, and fulfillment is a society that has already won the survival battle. Number 6, the evidence is clear, even if the narrative isn't. Across long-term global trends, humanity is objectively better off. Life expectancy has doubled, extreme poverty has collapsed, violence is historically low. Medical technology saves lives daily that would have been lost just decades ago. By every measurable standard, 2025 is the best time to be alive. But these gains are slow, cumulative, and unglamorous, making them almost easy to overlook. Loss aversion makes change feel like decline. People feel losses more intensely than gains. Any regression, economic, political, cultural, feels catastrophic. Gains are normalized quickly, losses linger psychologically. This fuels nostalgia for a better past than was, statistically, far worse. Most golden ages only appear golden in hindsight because their costs are forgotten. The real problem isn't the world. The real problem is perspective. We're safer, healthier, wealthier, and more capable than any generation before us, but we consume information as if the world is ending. History didn't get worse. Human awareness just got louder. And with that awareness comes a responsibility to think clearly, to zoom out, to lead with facts instead of fear, because optimism isn't denial. Optimism is accurate perspective.